So the new Mercenaries PvP game mode is out, PvP/PvE, as you all know. If you haven't played it, it's basically you're dropped in an eight player battle royale. This is Ubisoft's version of a battle royale. I don't know why it's limited to 8 players. They're really having a hard time pushing that envelope of player count, but it's basically you start off in the game map. You have the opportunities to go to locations that are guarded by Unidad guards. You find intel. The intel shows you either player locations, you can get a vehicle, or you can get you can open up a transmission. You open up 3 transmissions and the helicopter comes to a certain location. You hold down that location for a certain amount of time, and voila, you win the game mode and you are victorious. Now, I wanted to talk about some issues I have with the game mode. Let's really sit down and discuss some things about the game mode right off the bat, because I know everything in this day and age that sells is negative, negative, negative. It's not that I'm being negative. I think the game mode is actually really, really fun. Kudos to Ubisoft. It was done well. Obviously, right off the bat, some gripes are it needs more players. 8 players isn't enough. And there are some other things I want to get into that I don't like, but overall the game mode is extremely fun. Guys, if you haven't tried it, go try it. It's called Mercenaries, and it's live now. It started yesterday. Well, there are a few things I want to get into, but right off the bat is you respawn in this game mode. So while I was playing it, I was creeping and really, you know, finagling my way in the first games, getting to learn how the game mode worked. And the first time I died, I figured I'd go back to the lobby and start a new game, but you actually respawn. And this is an issue for me for this game mode. I feel like I don't know why they implemented it this way. Maybe it's to ensure that the map doesn't become empty too soon, but that's why we should have more players in the game map. Respawning, you lose all your weapons, you lose everything you had on you, you start from scratch again. But I think it gets to a point where it's a little played out. It should really feel battle royale-ish, to where if you die, you're out for that round. See you later, go start in a new game. And I feel like the game mode loses a little bit of its essence of the tension while you're playing it, because you can just respawn after you die. So this is something I have a problem with for where they're moving forward with their PvP, because as of now, every PvP game that they have is respawn, or you get revived in the team-based games. And I don't know, I kind of want something where there's enough players to fill up the map, and when you die, and that's it, and you move forward in the game map with less people, less players. I would really like to see Ubisoft create a PvP game mode where you're not respawning, you're not getting rezzed, something that really hits home when you get in a gunfight and it's like, oh crap, and you die, and it's like, oh, like you feel it, you feel that death, you traverse through you know, the whole game map, and you killed a few players, and you're nearing the end, and bam, you get killed, and it's like, oh my god. But then you could just respawn. So that feeling you get of the tension, it's kind of, when you play it enough, it goes by the wayside, because you could just respawn and try to grab a gun real quick. There were a few matches that I lost, where I died a few times, and while someone was trying to extract, and people just kept fighting in the extraction area, not letting his bar fill up, and I would just come back, grab a gun, try to fight, get killed. And it's like, at that point, it becomes a little cheesy. The game mode, it loses a lot of its essence of what it feels like to be, you know, in that situation. And you want to feel that tension of the game mode. And, you know, it's a little wishy-washy for me. It's very enjoyable, but I think for one, respawn needs to go. Ubisoft, you guys really need to work on how many players you're going to put in these game maps. We need more. People are out there playing PUBG, Apex Legends, they're playing Fortnite, and they're starting games with 100 players. 100. And you guys can't manage 8. So, and you know, for the company of what Ubisoft is, I would think they would really focus on getting, you know, a massive battle royale if they're going to go down this direction. I know a lot of people, they don't even want battle royale. I see on the forums a lot of people are like, you know, that's a hard pass for me. But you're obviously moving forward in this direction with battle royale, so you know, let's try to push past this 8-player limit that you have in the Ghost Recon series with 4v4, and now it's, you know, the 8-player free for all. So that's one thing. Obviously I want more players, and the respawn felt a little it didn't feel right to me. And yeah, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was when you call in the chopper, and the chopper is waiting for you, or not so much that the chopper is waiting for you, you're waiting for your bar to go all the way to get all the way filled, so you win that game round. I felt that the circumference that you have to sit within like this perimeter, like the chopper's here and there's a little yellow perimeter, and you have to sit there, and that's how it goes up. And there are times where I would be in a gunfight with a player, and he's right here, and I'm shooting right here, and we're shooting each other, and he would win the round. Or someone would be here, like it'd be a 3-way gunfight, and it was like the person would still win even though we're all fighting. It's like if you're not freaking basically making out together right here, you know, your bar still goes up. And I felt that that perimeter, that area is too small. It needs to be a little bit bigger, or at the very least the chopper, you won't get the victory if you're in a gunfight, because it felt really weird to be in a gunfight and for someone to win the round anyway. I thought that was kind of I don't know, it felt wrong. It felt wrong to be so close, like the chopper's right in front of me, and yet it didn't matter because I was this much out of the area, the little yellow area that's this big, and so the other kid would win. So I thought that was a little off. That's something I maybe they could tweak or fix, or they'll probably just leave it. But for Breakpoint, you know, maybe it could be worked on a little bit. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the PvE portion of these game maps. I feel like Unidad seemed almost irrelevant. They almost seemed like an annoyance instead of being like an integral part of the map itself. Going into these bases, these areas where you get your intel to unlock the transmitters, there would be maybe a couple Unidad guys, and it felt like they were on like a really high tier mode. Not so much with them shooting you. You didn't die as fast, but their tier mode alertness was really it was really good. And I don't mind that at all. I just, going into these bases, if there's like 1 or 2 guys, if it seems more like an afterthought. It doesn't feel like you're actually trying to infiltrate these bases and get this intel. The PvE portion of this game mode feels just kind of like tacked on, where you kill 1 Unidad guy or maybe 2 and you're good to go. And I understand maybe they didn't want that PvE portion to really get in the way of the PvP portion of the map, but I still think it could have been done to where there could have been a balance of both, and to where it would have felt better when you're infiltrating a map and it really feels like you're infiltrating a base on the map, and you really feel like, okay, I got to take my time here. Where I felt like I was just running in, there was 1 guy, boom, I'd shoot him, and I don't know, it felt off, especially to the game mode that I had thought of for the Ghost Recon series, where you're taking over control points. And you know what, I'll link a video up here if you've never seen it and you're watching this video. Check out that video. It's relatively quick. I get I explained what I would do for a battle royale in this series, where it would be PvP/PvE, and I don't know. I just felt like Unidad was they really don't matter. You could remove them and you won't feel a difference. So there needs to be some tweaking there as well. The next thing I wanted to talk about is health is too high as always. Ubisoft, they have a really hard time, in my opinion, balancing bullet damage and what should be a death and what shouldn't be a death. They still refuse to make headshots one shot, one kill. They refuse to make well-placed bursts into the torso area a death. There's an armor system in the game where you fill up your armor just like in Fortnite, but you become almost Terminator-ish. Like you get armor in Fortnite, but you could still get shot up relatively quick. It felt like the time to kill in Fortnite felt okay. It's still a little arcadey because it is an arcadey type game, but Ghost Recon feels even worse in my opinion, and I would think it would be the opposite. You should die faster in this game. If I get the jump on you and put a burst into you, boom, 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 and you're still alive, the gunplay feels weird. There were plenty of times where I'm shooting an enemy, the enemy's shooting me, and then you use the sprint button to try to run around them, reload, and then start the gunfight again. And the gunfights shouldn't last really past an entire magazine sprayed at a person's body at almost point blank range, because that really detracts, in my opinion, from the actual gunplay in the game. The gunplay doesn't feel as good when people are surviving 6, 7, 8 bullets, and that's not even an exaggeration. I'm gonna go through some footage and I'll have it playing. I'll have it playing, in the background while I'm talking, and I'll showcase how I got in gunfights and sometimes people did not die. I shot people in the head. There was this one time this guy was getting intel and I walked behind him and I shot him in the head and he didn't die. And it's like, why? Because he had armor? Like, we don't want that. Look, I can't say we. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the odd man out. You guys let me know in the comment section. If you got this far, you're still watching the video, you want to discuss the game and how we can make this better, throw it down in the comment section. Yes, I agree with you. Headshots should be one shot, one kill. 3, 4 bullets right here should drop a player. Nobody should take 8 shots to the chest and still be able to run around. There are some limits, in my opinion, that I want to see to make PvP feel really good for a tactical shooter / military simulator, which it's really not a military simulator, but it's still the essence of this game is still a tactical shooter. And we're getting in with health bars and medic reses, and now we have armor and health, and even the whole class system in Wildlands where the tanks had more health and everybody could get shot in the head twice before they die. A lot of it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, and it's the same thing for this game mode. It's maybe even a little worse since we have armor. Another thing is that the armor didn't even make sense. It was basically any armor filled up your armor bar. So I could pick up 2 or 3 helmets, because the armor, they were designated. It was like a chest icon armor, a head icon armor. So you go to the head icon armor, you pick it up, and your armor bar goes up. You don't put it on like in other games, like in PUBG, where you go to a menu and you put it on. Your armor just automatically goes up. That's something that I would like to see as well. Maybe our characters are bare boned and we're actually getting gear. If you make it a battle royale, if you want it to be battle royale, if you want that type of system or that type of game mode, program it that way. Don't make me just have a character where I put on what I want to put on, and then in game when I get armor, a head armor, I don't see anything. But I digress on that point. My main point is that I shouldn't be able to pick up 3 head armors and my armor keep going up. It should be limited. I wasn't paying attention to how many armors filled up the entire armor bar, but it should just be head armor, chest armor, and then, you know, elbow armor. Like, I don't know, it shouldn't be where I pick up 3 head armors and it keeps going up. That didn't make any sense. And there are no, yeah, that's basically all I really wanted to discuss. It was the respawn issue, the radius issue with the chopper, the Unidad issue where they seem kind of irrelevant, the health issue where the health is too high, headshots, one-shot headshots, the armor issue doesn't make sense, and yeah, I mean, that's really it for now, guys. You know, I was looking forward to this game mode when I heard about it. I was like, wow, this is exciting, but I can already see how it's kind of, you know, it's not as dare I say addicting as maybe something like a PUBG or a Fortnite. Like, the only reason I don't like Fortnite is because it's basically a game of builders. It's a build first game, shooter game second, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I love the Fortnite mechanics. The animations are good, everything feels really smooth. The game is amazing. I just don't want to sit there and you know, build stuff. I just want to have gunfights. So I never really got into it. But for a lot of, the game is still addicting for a lot of people. Look how big it got. And I dare say that, you know, Ubisoft is still trying to figure out how to make their PvP addicting. And they keep falling short, in my opinion. If you want to create a game mode like this, if this is what you're trying to do, then do it right. Like, you already started off where you have people respawning. You know, there's still little quirks about it that feel off to me. So I just wanted to discuss some of these things to see how you guys felt. Have you guys played it? Are you guys playing it? What don't you like? What do you like? What do you love? What don't you know? Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this, because I even went to the forums. Nobody's even talking about it. So, and you have to expect that. The game now is what is it going on? 2.5 years old. Not a lot of people are playing it. It took me a while to even find matches sometimes with the matchmaking. I was sitting there and it was just going nowhere. So obviously, you know, it's not going to be as popular, but this is still a game mode that moving forward is definitely going to be in Breakpoint. They added a lot of things. You know, you bandage yourself up just like in Breakpoint and things like that. So, you know, I can see them moving forward with a lot more PvP. And Gamescom is in another month. I think in my last video I said Gamescom was in 2 days because it's August 19th, I think, is Gamescom, or August 20th. So my mistake on that. We're only in July. I wasn't thinking. I obviously never am. So, but yeah, I feel like Ubisoft is really missing the mark when it comes to their PvP and making their PvP popular, making it a staple in the multiplayer community, in the PvP community amongst these battle royale games. You know, it doesn't even need battle royale to be popular. You know, when SOCOM 1 and 2 are out, it was the talk of the town. Not only was it like the first co-op multiplayer game of that era for the consoles, but the way the game modes were created and how it felt, you know, Respawn was its own little thing to warm up. And then the actual game modes where people played, the ladder or ranking system, I forget, when we had clan battles, was you died, you were gone for the rest of that round. You know, the game felt, it was addicting in that way, where every round mattered, every move you made mattered. And I want to see Ubisoft go in that direction with some game modes. I want to see things not be so user friendly with Respawn and here's 3 head armors and your armor bar's filled up. Like, change things up. If you know, it's like they took some of the best ideas from all these battle royale games, but then they didn't really complete what their vision would be to make their game mode stand out and make it better. And for that, I feel like it's left wanting, and a lot of things can be improved. But now I'm just ranting, and I don't want the video to be too long. I'm going on for a while now. So guys, let me know what you think about, you know, what I said. Do you agree with me? What's your opinion on the game mode? You know, what are you looking forward to moving forward with Breakpoint? Are you happy that they moved in this direction with this type of game mode? And what are some things you're looking forward to in game modes to come that might be revealed in Gamescom and in Breakpoint? Let me know in the comments. Like always, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out with me while I talk. We discuss things. I always appreciate it. Like I said, don't forget to drop a comment. We could kick it, talk a little bit, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.